Hi guys, welcome to the show. Dominic McCauley is actually here. Unbelievable.
It's so weird.
So yeah, Dom's with me for the weekend. We're going to do some videos while you're here, aren't we?
Yes. We had homework, didn't we?
We had homework, yeah. So before Dom came down this weekend, we gave each other 2 albums to listen to that the other person hadn't heard, so they could review it in front of each other, which is a bit of pressure, isn't it? So about a week and a half, 2 weeks, we've had these albums to listen to. So yeah, this actual show is me reviewing the Quill, the band The Quill, and the album is In Triumph.
Yeah.
Dom is going to review White's Sister self-titled album. Yeah, look, there you go. Look at that. Even got the vinyl. Look at that. So yeah. So now I was going to tell you the reasons why I chose White's Sister.
Okay.
You can probably spring in this on you a little bit. So why have you chosen this one for me to do, the Quill?
I don't know. You know, we were doing our All Killer for years, through the years. And I remember I've always liked this record quite a bit, or this album quite a bit.
You chose Slave Master as a song.
Is that the one I chose? Is it?
I think so.
Oh, shit.
I remember the time.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just always thought it might be something that you could get into. Like the singer is quite good. It's quite heavy in places, but still, melodic. Yeah. So I thought it might be a shot. That's something you might dig.
Yeah. And Dom did actually say, leading up to coming down, he's a bit worried that because these are his favourites, some of his favourite albums, of course, these ones he's chosen for me, and
I'm actually more worried than you are because the ones that you picked for me, I think, hold much more emotional.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, probably. A lot older.
I do love the Quill, but they're not like, my favorite band or my favorite album. I just thought it was something that I dug that potentially it might be a Leigh.
But it's also obviously hard, not easy to find and think of something that you haven't actually heard. That's another thing, isn't it? You've got to try and find something you haven't heard. Mm-hmm. So my review of the Quill. Yeah?
Okay. Let's go for it.
So this album came out in 2006. They are Swedish.
Yeah.
Didn't think they sound Swedish.
No.
Before I did my notes, I only found out they were Swedish then when I started doing my notes, because I listened to the album a couple of times. Oh, and this was another thing. Listening to an album more than once, which is what we don't really do anymore, much, was quite good.
It was a revelation for me.
Almost old style.
We've talked a lot on the channel about not having time to listen to records like we did when we were younger, when we could only afford like one album a month or something. So no matter if you didn't like it in the first listen, you listened to it forever. And sometimes those turned out to be the best records you've ever heard in your life.
Exactly.
We just don't have that opportunity anymore being adults, and and plus so much music out there. So
it's nice to give these a good crack rather than
absolutely,
which is what I do a lot of time on normal reviews for the channel. New albums, I only listen to them once sometimes, but it was nice to listen to something. I think I listened to it at least 4 times.
Yeah,
the Quill and the other album that we're going to talk about later.
Well, I am the wizard. I put a spell on you, yeah. I'll make you do the things I know you would not do.
So Swedish band, like I said, I didn't think, if you listen to them, I thought, no, that's not a Swedish band.
No.
And it says on Wiki, the amazing Wiki, stoner rock stroke metal band. Yeah. That's what it says. I sort of agree with that. A bit
stoner, a bit doom at times. It does have those kind of elements to it, but I think as a whole, they have better songwriting than a lot of the bands of those ilk. Yeah.
And the influences it cites, or bands like them or whatever it says on Wiki, and I would agree on some of these and not so much on some.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion. It says on Wiki Sabbath. I'm not sure about that. It says Deep Purple, which I think I can hear some definitely 70s stuff going on.
Yeah, definitely 70s influence.
Whether it's Deep Purple or not. It says Led Zeppelin. I would agree with that, I think.
Yeah.
And then I think it said Soundgarden. I would definitely agree.
Fair enough, yeah.
I would agree with that. More vocally, I would say.
Yes.
Alice in Chains and Corrosion of Conformity, I think.
Really?
It,
oh my gosh. This is so funny because I didn't even read that. But I've never read their wiki. Mm-hmm. But that's funny because those last three you really like.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially Alice in Chains and Corrosion of Conformity. That's wild.
But two bands I actually thought they reminded me of was Audio Slave.
Okay.
I suppose you could say, the Audio Slave are a bit Led Zeppelin-y, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I thought the Lynch Mob debut album.
Oh, okay.
I sort of heard that as I was listening to it. So they're ones I thought of. Now, this is quite a long album. I thought a bit too long.
Okay.
Nearly an hour. And I know that's
not, I mean, in today's standards, it's...
Yeah, 12 tracks. So, but I mean, I think a lot of albums are too long. If a band comes out with an album with 8 tracks, it really keeps my attention now. So this has got like 12 tracks on it.
Yeah.
A real riffy album, loads of guitar work. It's very sort of, grounded, if you like, in it. Guitar, bass, drums, vocals.
Yes.
If you like, in the main. One thing I thought it lacked, this is where we get into the,
Listen, I'm going to keep it real, so you might as well.
I might make you feel better. I thought it lacked a bit of light and shade, a bit of dynamics. I think a lot of the tracks for me blended into each other a little bit.
I agree. I completely agree. I listen to a lot of my music on mixtapes and things. So I did go back and listen to the record after recommending it to you.
Yeah.
And I did see that could be a problem, that they're all very kind of mid-paced and there's not a lot of up and down. I mean, still quality, but it's very kind of...
Definitely quality. You're talking musicianship here. Vocally, this guy's great. I mean, he is... you read about him and they say Chris Cornell is an influence, or it sounds a bit like, and I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Not the same, but got that real power.
That and same kind of timbre in his voice when he gets the higher notes and stuff. Yeah.
So in the whole, a positive review, but I think for me it could be like tightened up, as in length, a bit more, like I said, a bit more light and shade for me to keep me interested from the beginning. Because listening, like I said, to albums from beginning to end is a bit unusual now even for me, like now.
Yeah.
So if you are going to listen to an album from beginning to end, it's really got to keep your attention, isn't it?
Agreed.
But so running through the tracks, I really like the Keep the Circle Whole. I thought it was a great opening.
What an opener, yeah. It's probably still my favorite track off the album. So
no, it probably is for me. I mean, and this is where I get that Audio Slave thing. It almost reminded me, what was that first single? Was it Cochise or something? Was it
Cochise was the first
one. Little bit like that. That sort of Led Zeppelin-y, belting it out sort of vocals. And straight away I was thinking of Chris Cornell and that good rocking opener. Yeah, I didn't like the next track, much. Yeah. Again, that it did have that Soundgarden Audio Slave feel for me, but it's more of a rock and roll track than a stoner band. This band are more rock and roll than stoner. I think so. That's a very straightforward. It's no frills, no fucking around track, but it wasn't one of my favourites.
Yeah,
Slave Master's pretty good. And I think this is the one you spoke about before. I remember you saying about it.
Okay.
It slows the album. This is where they do use a little bit of light and shade. It slows down to a sort of medium pace rather than the two opening belters, which I liked. And a real early 90s feel for me in this sort of
absolutely
song.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I picked this as well, because I know you are a fan of the kind of the more... I don't want to use the G word, but it does have that kind of early 90s feel.
It does, definitely does. Broken Man, I like that. Guitars are a bit more subdued, so giving a little bit more light and shade. Great vocals, high end man, powerful vocals, and got loads of groove as well. There's a lot of groove to this song.
Yeah, there are grooves. Yeah, so that makes sense with the Lynch Mob comparison.
Yes, definitely. Man in Mind is the 5th track. It's very 70s sounding. I mean, there's some 70s and early 90s feels for me for this album, but it's more of this ain't a bad way, but a plodding track. I quite like the way it feels. It's sort of just, it's nice groove to it again. Merciless Room, I didn't like so much.
Yeah, not one of my favourites either.
Nothing bad. You can't really say, and there's nothing bad about this album. You can't say, oh, it's terrible or anything. Everything about it's good, but you know, not really hitting hard on that one.
Of course.
Trespass is one of my favourites.
That's a good one.
Now this is a faster track, quite erratic, fast verses. I like the chorus, very melodic. Choruses are great as well on this album.
Yeah.
Black, not the Pearl Jam song.
Not the Pearl Jam song.
This is a good song.
I like that one too.
Yeah. Made a nice change as well. Almost, and when they talk about stoner rock, they've done it, some people say like desert rock or something. It felt a little bit like that with the tunes on the guitars. I like the riff in the verse and those high-end vocals again. No Light on the Dark Side, didn't like that.
Oh, really? That's one of my favorites.
No, too much. It's almost too run-of-the-mill for me. It was like not doing
light
much.
On the dark side.
A little bit psychedelic as well. It felt
maybe that's where.
Perhaps that's why I don't.
Let down for you.
Maybe. Yeah. Triumph is a Sea of Flames. There's loads of grooves in the riffs, but I think by this stage in the album, the 10th track, I was like,
it's a bit overkill
for me.
Yeah.
For me.
No, I agree. Yeah.
In the Shadows, it's quite nice. You get a bit of clean guitar in this, so it broke it up quite a bit.
I like that one.
It weren't too bad back. And then you got Down that finished. No, you got 13 tracks actually. It was like a bonus on the end, I think. But,
yeah, because you were listening on Spotify.
I was.
This is a re-release that has a bonus 13th track, Rock and Roll Something.
Rock and Roll Might Be Dead.
Yeah.
But Down, track 12, now, it said on the wiki about an Alice in Chains, this is the track. Mm-hmm. That's the only time I felt Alice in Chains, because it had those sort of vocals, those harmonising vocals.
Yeah.
Especially in the vocals. That was where the Alice in Chains thing came in for me. But apart from this song, like I said, I can't see any other Alice in Chains in the band. Only in that song. Rock and Roll Might Be Dead. That grooves along really nicely, actually.
Okay.
I quite like it. And it has that, hence the title, I suppose, a real more rock and roll feel. So the song title really suits.
Okay. Yeah, as I said, the 13th song, I noticed on Spotify that there was a bonus track, but that's not on the version I have because I downloaded it, obviously.
So positives in general, really well played. You know what I mean? Great choruses. The mixed, I would say, but this, when you say mixed, as in like, you know, mixed feelings about it, that could be good for some people, that it's got this, not a lot of people like Up and Down and Light and Shade, do they?
Yeah, they like a certain feel for an album, yeah.
But for me, I suppose that my negative is that maybe a little bit long, maybe a bit too samey in some certain tracks, but a good overall. Yeah.
Good. So it was a decent recommendation.
Yes.
I also thought, you know, the title notwithstanding, I also thought some of the riffs were kind of down-ish. The band Down.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
You know,
the groove in them.
That's another reason why I picked that, because you love Down so much.
That's it. What do you think then? Was you happy? Are you happy?
Absolutely, yeah. It's actually better than I probably... Well, I don't know. I didn't know what to think. But obviously I wouldn't have recommended it if I didn't think that there would be something in there for you to get your hands in.
Good.
Your teeth in.
So next, here we go.
Okay. White Sister.
No, sorry. Why I chose this.
Yes.
So I'm really interested to see what someone thinks of this and the other album I chose for Dom to do now, for the first time in 2025. Because what I felt back in '84, was just such a special album, and it carried on that way. So I'd sometimes wonder how it feels that if you heard something now for the first time, all the way back from then, would you feel the same? And I know it's you thinking about it, and I'll never know how it feels to hear this for the first time now.
Sure.
But I'm really interested to see how Dom feels about it.
It's interesting. You know, when you hear stuff that you've never heard before, but from 1984, you know, you're going to have different feelings, obviously, than if I had heard this in '84.
Something about you keeps me calling back for more.
Okay, so the first track is Don't Say You're Mine. It's really funny because I didn't do any searching or looking at who was involved in this record, but the very first thing I thought of was Angel. It was the band Angel. Come to find out, Greg Giuffria arranged the songs and produced the album as well. So that makes so much sense. He definitely has a style, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Kind of remind me of Night Ranger a little bit. Early Night Ranger. It's very keyboard heavy, which with Greg Giuffria, I'm sure he probably really put those towards the front.
I thought this was a strange opening track, though, for me.
Oh, okay.
It didn't feel like some of the rest of the album were heavier.
Yeah.
I think they could have chosen something different for the start, but I always thought that when listening to the album. I thought, I like the song, but it felt like a strange opening.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I didn't really question why you asked me to do this one, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of big washer keyboards, mostly, especially in rock and roll. I mean, sometimes they're all right, but I'm more the Hammond organ, Deep Purple-ish if you're going to have keyboards. But anyway, it really is of its time, but it's a good tune. And then number 2 is Straight from the Heart. I thought this had a real Y&T feel, especially his vocals. They're similar singers, aren't they?
They've got the
The mean shrieks. Yeah. A very good lead break. I think I would say that that is the highlight of most of their songs.
The lead guitar. Yeah.
Well, and the break, because the music and the riff, they don't really take them from the song.
No.
It's like a completely new little thing that they do.
Yeah, like a song within a song.
They do really good with the lead breaks. Absolutely. Yeah. I put it has an amateur charm. Because what I mean by that is that I was surprised this was on a major label, to be honest. I felt it sounded a bit like your favorite local band, which is not bad. It's just that the production and stuff, and
I definitely agree with the production on this album. It ain't great.
And I'll just go ahead and say the most negative thing for me is the drummer. His fills
and the sound of the drums
are bad. Well, not always bad. I'm sorry if you're watching. I don't know. The doodle doodle or any of those kind of fills, they just sound very amateur. Like they really could have redone those.
Yeah.
So that takes it down a notch. I would say for me, because it just smacks of.
And I could never hear the cymbals either in this album. It almost sounds like a kick drum and a snare. I can't hear much. It's a bad mix as well.
The only other thing I'll say about drumming is that he seems to be a drummer that he has to have complicated rhythms to make the song interesting. I don't think he always plays to the song's strongest suit. Like sometimes in the chorus, it'll be like 4/4 during the verses and kind of rocking. But then when it gets to the chorus, he does some sort of rhythm that's kind of like kooky or whatever. I don't know. So that's Straight from the Heart. Love Don't Make It Right, number 3. Again, it's got a different drum pattern during the chorus, and I think it doesn't, where the chorus should take it away, really soar for the chorus. It kind of brings it down a bit. And there is a great part of this song, though, where it does Love Don't Make It Right, where it's like just the drums and but he's playing it straight during that. That just sounds how the chorus really could have been more powerful because on the real choruses he plays the toms, whereas if it was just love don't really kind of anyway punchy. Breaking All the Rules, this would make a good B-side, I would say.
It's not one of my favorites.
Yeah. Some of his vocal ad-libs did make me laugh. Breaking, yeah. It is kind of Y&T-ish because he kind of does that as well.
Again, 84.
But some of it, it's just like, they're in the studio and they're like, you should ad-lib a little bit. Breaking, it's a little bit like that. My favorite song is Whips.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
You know the kind of thing I like.
Yeah.
So during this listening, I was trying to identify who this singer reminded me of. He sounded a lot like somebody that I knew, but by track 5, I identified it as Kelly Hansen. From Hurricane for me, but he's been in Foreigner forever. But it sounds like Hurricane to me. Yeah, he's got the same kind of just the way he delivers everything. And again, another fantastic guitar lead break, I think. Are you looking at my notes?
Yeah, sorry.
It's fucking-
I was seeing what was next. I'll do that.
Right. So whips. Yeah, whips. 6 is Can't Say No. I'm going to say You Must Love This One.
It's my favourite one.
Yeah, I even wrote Leigh Must Love This One.
I fucking love this song.
Oh, we know each other so well.
Yeah, I love this fucking song.
I thought the line "Just one taste of your lace and it's over" was just an amazing line.
It's a good line. It's a very good line.
One taste of your lace. Fantastic. A great lead break as well.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say is that this really cemented for me the time period, but a lot of bands that are well beloved now, but never hit the next level. Autograph, Jafria, Honeymoon Suite, all these bands that were heavy keyboard bands. And definitely had their fans, but they're always the support act and never the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's definitely of that time where major labels were signing a lot of these bands. But the only one that really broke through was Bon Jovi, I would say, like to the heights, you know, because
Maybe Night Rangers to a certain extent.
to a certain extent, but I think they were kind of, you know, they only had a year or two or a couple of years where they were really big.
I agree, though. Yeah,
But
I agree. Yeah,
Bon Jovi's the only like one that had really prominent keyboards
success as well. Yeah,
that
with keyboards.
that went, but we all know why they,
Oh yeah.
because of John Bon Jovi's stupid face. That's why. That's why they get popular. But again, it's I knew it was going to be your favorite. That's so funny. Right, where are we at? We're at Promises.
Yep.
Number 7, Promises. I like the vibe of this because it's like the young girl from the wrong side of town, and there's so many rock metal songs about that. Hide Your Heart by Kiss. He's Johnny from the wrong side.
This gives me a hot city street sort of feel. This.
Yeah,
I love this.
It's great. Yeah, it's great. I think this one really has it all together. Really, I think this is one of their stronger ones. But again, with the rhythm and the chorus, when it should be, it should hit those. If anything, play the more rhythmic stuff in the verse, and then if you go to the chorus and it's 4/4, it kicks your ass.
Yeah.
That's the way that I'm used to melodic rock doing, really. Yeah, but it kind of takes it up to a notch, But again, I think it's one of their stronger songs.
Yeah.
Walk Away. I love those opening spooky keyboards. Very, very spooky. This one's all right, and it's a fair album track. I wouldn't say it's one of their stronger ones. One More Night. I like the backward drum sound that they have. They have like this kind of for the drums. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. I thought again, Jesus, I wrote this again and again. The riff on the lead break is fantastic. It's really rocking. Yeah, I thought this had a real kind of Kiss sound, Lick It Up era kind of kind of thing. And 10, Just For You. It sounded to me, I watch a lot of 80s horror, and it sounded like to me like this one should be in an 80s horror. I could just hear it in the background of like a party or something, or it's just got that feel, really.
Well, the funny thing is, a lot of these sort of bands were on soundtracks then, weren't they, in the 80s? But these were, especially, they was Fright Night.
Yep.
They did a song for Fright Night, and then they did another song called April on the next album. Both of them songs on the next album, and that was in another slasher. So they were definitely...
That's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah.
It definitely had that feel. Yeah, it's a good track, though, Just For You. It's a good track. There's a funny keyboard sound on the chorus, though. I remember it's very kind of... Yeah.
Very keyboard. That is all keyboard.
Yeah.
That song is all keyboard.
Yeah. So that's the end, right? Yeah.
Yep.
10 tracks.
Yeah.
So my synopsis is as follows. I'm just trying to think of reasons why they didn't go any further. The cover is absolutely terrible. I don't know. Do you have glamour shots over here in the UK? Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Glamour shots are where those like housewives would go and they get like a full makeup and then they have like a close up picture behind them and they're all like this or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's what this looks like. It looks like a fucking Glamour shots thing.
And in here,
so it doesn't help. I thought their name. I don't like their name either. I never listened to them because I thought they were a Christian band.
Oh, okay.
White Sister. It sounded like something Christian to me.
Yeah, sort of does, yeah.
Yeah. And I read that the record label actually asked them to change their name.
Oh, right.
Because I think it was Whitesnake were having some success and they didn't want to have... Oh no, it was Twisted Sister.
Right, okay.
Twisted Sister were really hitting big with Stay Hungry when this came out.
Right, okay.
So they wanted to change their name. But their argument was that, there's lots of bands with white in their name. You're not asking us to change... So they didn't change their name, but I think they probably could have changed their name.
Yeah.
It might have been a bit more successful.
You wouldn't be allowed to be called White Sister now. They wouldn't let you.
Oh.
This day and age.
Maybe.
Not now, anyway.
Well, if Lynch Mob's going to change their name.
Yeah.
I did, and I also wrote down, I was curious as to what the second album would sound like because the keyboard player and co-lead vocalist left after this. So he has a few songwriting credits on the second album. Yeah. But he's not on it. And obviously Greg Giuffria doesn't produce it either. So I thought maybe it might be a bit more guitar oriented, but you said it's not.
Not really, no.
Yeah. Which is a shame because I thought maybe they might.
It's a lot more diverse though.
Okay.
I mean, they do a great cover of Ticket to Ride.
The Beatles song?
Yeah,
your favorite band?
That's my worst song they've ever done because I just don't like it. And it ain't any different than the original.
It's just a bit rocked up.
It's just, oh God, no, don't do that. But I do know the song that you would love on the other album as well.
Okay.
But, you might listen to it, but...
I will give it a shot, but I was curious just because, it's so keyboard heavy, and I just thought Greg Giuffria probably had a lot to do with that.
Yes.
Putting them up front. Giuffria and even to a lesser extent House of Lords were like that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
These big keyboard in the front, and the guitar is almost a second instrument in this kind of rock and roll.
Yeah.
And as I said, these bands just never caught on, really.
No.
This whole kind of keyboard up front thing. No. But I enjoyed it. I have to say that it's one of those I listened to, I think I told you about 5 or 6 times. I probably liked it more at the beginning.
Really?
Than I did after the 5th listen. I think because I was kind of picking apart reasons why the songs didn't work.
Yeah.
And a lot of the reason is the drummer. Just his choices for choruses and things just didn't make the song soar. They just kind of, you got to the chorus and it kind of went flat instead of, crazy. So that's my review.
Thanks, man. No, it's really...
No hard feelings.
Of course. It's really interesting, actually, to hear you. Like I said, obviously albums have come to... People have suggested stuff to me since doing the channel that I'd never heard. Heaven's Edge being one of them from 1990, was it, or 89? And that sounded great to me.
They had a good record a couple of years ago as well.
Yeah. So, it can surprise you. But I think this is really... The production on the White Sister album is a real sign of the times, though. Drums, although, the things you said about the drums, but also drowned out. I can't really hear cymbals or anything,
Yeah.
Quite a poor production as well. Even back then, I thought that it was a bit muddy and a bit.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant by I was kind of surprised it was on a major. But as I say that, it's not really on a major because they were signed to Enigma, which was like an indie subsidiary of EMI. So EMI was the parent company, but they really probably didn't have much of a say in the production stuff. It would be more Enigma, and Enigma were kind of notorious for having kind of low budget production. So that makes sense.
Brilliant, man. Thank you very much. Anyone watching this, if they love these albums or they want to listen to them, because they haven't, they can put what they think of it, but give them a listen, though, because it really does, obviously in Dom's way, more he listened to it, liked it a bit less, but mine, I stayed a bit the same, by the way, all the way through. I felt the same about the album as I did after lots of listens.
But how old were you?
Here?
Yeah.
14.
So come on. I'm not going to say how old I am, but But yeah, I mean,
how you feel
that's
at
a huge
14.
difference.
Yeah.
14 years old, hearing an album that is dear to your heart.
Oh yeah.
And somebody who's heard, 500,000 albums.
Exactly. Yeah, guys, put what you think of it. If you know them, in the comments below, what you think of them. If not, have a quick listen. If you I know no one's got that much time, but have one listen and say what you think of it in the comments below. That'd be great. Move on to the next one.
Okay.
See you soon.